Hello, besties. How are you tonight? Oh my gosh, is there's not a day where we as Bravo fans don't get an amount of crazy news beside obviously our recap. I have so much tea, especially from Salt Lake City season 4. Yes, I'm talking about the cast. They might be joining season 4. So stick around because that's gonna be at the end. Obviously, we're gonna start with our recap, but just so you know, we're gonna be talking about Salt Lake City, the reunion. Finally, thank God it's over. Also, the Real Housewife of Miami newest episode, and on our Bravo News section, we will be talking about Vanderpump Rules intro and the first 7 minutes that were released today. We also gonna be going over the ladies of Miami. They released the looks for the reunion also today. And like I mentioned before, I have that tea from Salt Lake City you do not want to miss. It's exclusive. And it's from somebody very, very reliable. So stick around for all the news. And obviously, at this point, you can join the conversation by sending me questions. I always tell people to go on my Instagram or my Twitter. You can always leave me comments and messages there. If you want your questions to be answered, make sure that you let me know. My DMs are always open. If you also have any tea they want to share with me here on Martinez with Eddie. So let's go. Let's start with Salt Lake City. I'm still confused, you guys. I'm still very confused at this finale. I don't know what you think, but half of the conversation that was had last night didn't make any sense from any side of the couch. I'm not taking sides on this podcast today. Obviously, you guys know that I'm a big fan uh, of the winner couch, aka Whitney, Lisa Barlow, Dana, and Angie K. But it was such a weird reunion. The editing was completely chopped. There was no resolution. I'm gonna read this because Aaron just said this right now. It says there were no resolution on this reunion, and I completely agree on that one. When you have a reunion, you want to make sure that everybody gets the answer that we want, or at least the answer that we deserve as viewers from the housewives. At the beginning, they were talking about the whole Jen Shah and the friend of NGK, NGH, and then were there. Only for the first 5 minutes. NGK was explaining to Heather how she got some information, how Jen Shah was talking about her, and still we didn't understand why uh, Heather was so persistent on defending Jen Shah. The funniest part of this segment, I wanna say this because I love when there's some shady moments. I love when there's shady moments that are not hurtful to anybody. When Andy Cohen said, "Okay, ladies, you guys can go. Thank you for being here," to NGK, NGH, and Dana, uh, they all proceed to like get up and hug each other, whatever. And Heather is crying. I'm still wondering why was all this dramatics about. And NGH hug her, while on the other side of the couch we have NGK, Dana, and Lisa Barlow and Whitney posing for a selfie, while Heather's on the other side having a full-on meltdown. And I'm here laughing because I know it sounds a little petty, but petty can be fun too sometimes. I am still hoping that Whitney find the answer to her journey, the reasoning behind her awakening. And we all have those moments in our lives. We know that we all go through different paths when we are kids, and we all carry some kind of trauma. It might not be as heavy as Whitney, because we know that Whitney, for what she's sharing, she had an abuser. She blocked this person from her memories. She's trying to find peace in within herself. And even though some people out there find this type of storyline quite boring, I think it's very important for everybody to see this, because that's why we watch Housewives. We cannot just have the Jane Shahs of the world stealing money from victims and not realize the housewives also have their own personal life and stuff that we can relate to with them. Not everything is about fun and trips and whatever. I mean, there's going to be moments where they share their most like vulnerable side of their lives, and I appreciate Whitney for that reason. I'm not sure how that was received by the fans and the viewers, because Whitney has been a polarizing image and person in this franchise. Especially with like bad weather, or now being friends with Lisa, the way that she's sharing her walking away from the Mormon church, and how some people felt like she didn't feel as supportive or like bad for uh, her husband losing uh, his job because of allegedly the show. But at the same time, I think as a husband, he has been very supportive of her on her journey, and that's very valid too. Some people might think it's somebody being hungry for fame, but we have different dreams in our lives. Whitney's dream it's to have a business, and she found that door and window through Salt Lake City, the Housewives. It just sad that it came with a price, but it seems like they do have a very strong relationship. On the other hand, a relationship that definitely hurt from this show was her relationship with Heather. In that segment where they were talking to each other, it felt like gaslighting to me. Heather was gaslighting Whitney into feeling like she was the one who ruined the friendship. And I'm gonna say something. Heather mentioned BravoCon, and as somebody who was at BravoCon and watched this whole thing unravel on the stage, Heather got the dates and the intention wrong. Because BravoCon was in October. And on the stage, the first one who threw the first job was Heather at Whitney. So obviously, they came from a season where their friendship was already broken into this BravoCon experience in a very public stage. I don't blame Whitney for taking another platform, her own podcast, a month later to talk about this and take the second job at Heather. So Heather got this date wrong, and that's why I can't take Heather so seriously. Because if you are gonna bring some type of receipt, at least get them right. Erin has sent in a question. She asked, "What do you think the husbands on the couch?" I'm going to say that I'm not a fan when the husbands are involved in the women's drama. But one thing that we all have to agree is that we are going to have to deal with them regardless. I mean, they are part of the women's lives and they have opinions. I just don't want them to be too involved, kind of like Jersey, because it's exhausting. These men were there on the couch for 5 minutes. They were all looking fine. Poor Seth was asking Meredith if he could get closer to her on the couch. And if you notice, on the shot, in the aerial shot that they show on the show, he is literally like 2 feet away from her. It's like there's a huge space between them. Uh, I was laughing because I got to screenshot it and I posted it on my Twitter. And honestly, you guys, is the funniest like picture ever. Like, Lisa Barlow is like really close to John Barlow, and then we have Whitney with her husband, like very cozy, and then you see Meredith and Seth like literally far apart. I think they did a great job. I appreciate their presence on the show, and I appreciate the fact that each of them are defending their wives, but they still seem civil to each other. Something that maybe other housewives franchises need to learn, and how to, uh, you know, let the women speak, and they just talk whenever they're asked to speak. There was one question while they were on the couch that I want to share with you guys, because I do have a very maybe controversial, quote unquote, opinion on this one. Somebody sent a question to the Barlows asking them if they feel any regret about the way they are raising, you know, his kids, especially Jack, the older one. What type of question is that? Like they were saying, are you regretting that you buying him a car or taking him on expensive trips on in a what's it called, a private jet? And I'm thinking that's nobody's business. That's nobody's business. Literally nobody's. The way the parents spend the money on their kids is truly nobody's business. They said as far as he is a good person, he's paving his way with the privilege that he was given, and they always remember him that he's a very privileged kid. What else you guys expect them to do? I mean, maybe because I had parents who kind of mirror the Barlows in a way. They were very given. They gave me opportunities. They make me work for things when it was my time to work for things. So I always tell people involving in parenting is such a thin ice to walk on that we have to be very aware. So sending this type of question to me is even like it's a waste of time, because they're not gonna say that they regret anything. As a parent, they feel that they accomplished what they needed to accomplish. Uh, Kristen sent in a piece of history on the Salt Lake City vibe. She said, I noted in season one that Jack actually had a job of being a referee on weekends, which is great. Yes, we had seen the kids work. I mean, obviously, Jack is now focusing on, his brand, Fresh Wolf, which, yeah, is funded by the parents. We know that. We understand that part. But that is a job for a 17-year-old kid. I don't know. That question to me was a little off, and I wanted to share with you guys because I want your opinion on this. What do you think when people question somebody else's parenting style? What do you think about providing for the kids whatever they can provide? And do you think that giving too much to a kid is a problem? You can leave the answers on my Instagram, my YouTube channel, on the comment section, on my Twitter. DM me, send me an email, but make sure that you give me your opinion because I want to know. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. I enjoy when Seth and John were trying to find like a happy median, knowingly that their wives are going crazy at each other. They were very civil about it. John made a point that maybe Seth was making fun of Lisa when they both agree not to talk about their wives on camera. And I think that's a fair, you know, thing to say if you both agree on. So good for them. I also think one thing, you guys. These men, at the end of the day, you can tell that they are friendlier outside the show than the actual housewife. I sense a real friendship between all the husbands on this show than the Salt Lake City housewives. It's very strange, but it kind of makes sense. They don't think to want the spotlight at all times. They all seem to be very reserved. They are not Joe Gorga thirstiness levels, which, by the way, are so embarrassing. Because, like Nini said, are you Peter or are you Patricia? Because we need to find that out. Because you better be, staying out of women business. And that's what I did. Like I said before, I appreciate when the men know when to speak, when to get involved, because at the end of the day, the show is about the ladies and their drama and their experience. It's about the housewife. It's called The Real Housewives, not The Real Housewives in Joe Gorga. I think one thing that I'm very impressed this time, surprisingly, Andy actually came into this reunion trying to find some answer. I guess he knew that the reunion was going to be very, very unnecessary. When he was asking Meredith about her friendship with Jensha, he pulled out specific moments during previous reunions, during previous seasons, to prove his point, to make sure that his point was understood. He didn't just started to like brush the questions under the rug like he usually does to move to the next topic. Obviously, there weren't that many topics to talk about in this reunion in the first place. So I appreciated when he confronted Meredith when she said that she was going to question Jensha if she pled guilty, and at that point the reunion she did, and she was very nonchalant about how she felt in general. Also, the fact that we still don't understand how she went from hating Jensha, from hiring an investigator to find out if she was the one behind, trolling her son or whatever she was trying to find out, because we know that there's more to that story. There was like a taxi cab situation that we heard about on season 2 on the Bravo streets. And suddenly they're like best friends. And Meredith is like hanging out with her at all times. Like I said before, I saw them being buddy at that party on during BravoCon. Her, Jen, and Brooks were just like buddy in the whole entire night. So I just question if Meredith was telling the truth about knowing beforehand, as you know, about Jen trying to, I don't want to say the word because I hate, but you get the point. Kind of like end her life, kind of thing. I wonder if this investigator that she hired was the one who found out, and that's why she was like, shit, maybe I'll become friend with her because somebody has to be there for her. But it's very strange to me that even at that point, if they didn't have a conversation to resolve their problems that they had in the past, especially with Meredith's son, who Jen made sure to troll, or at least approve and like and share comments that were being made about him on the previous season. And that's where this whole Meredith going after Jen came from. And we never had an answer for that either. It's like Salt Lake City has gone 180 on each season with no reasoning behind it, with no explanation. And we appreciate the dynamics changing at all time because that makes the show more interesting. But when it changes such abruptly, so out of the blue, and with no like no clue for us viewers to understand the change of dynamics, then it became really weird. And maybe that's why not even in this reunion we have a solution. We have Heather defending Jen Shah, and Lisa, Lisa herself showed her a text message sent to about Heather in the previous episode, in the previous reunion episode, where she was saying that she hate her and she was like useless and whatever. And now on this episode, she also come with another receipt that it's Jen Shah attacking Lisa because Lisa mentioned victims, and then Jen Shah, I'm gonna read it verbatim because you know how I like receipts. I don't want people to say, "Oh, you made that up." No, this is Jen Shah's message to Lisa. It says, "If you know of any victims in my legal case, please let me and my attorneys know. There have been 0 victims. So literally, please send them to us because you know more than we do." Those were Jen Shah's words about the victims. What she was trying to, you know, sell the story that she was innocent. And then we also found out, thanks to Heather, that Miss Jen Shah was going around asking for money for legal fees for, to go to trial, whatever, which by the way, she was asking for money for that. And she was gonna take the plea deal and just plead guilty. I mean, a scammer has to scam, I guess. But we found out that she asked money to Angie H and her elf on a shelf husband. And they gave her money, which in real time we saw Whitney's face extremely confused, putting one and one together in real time. It was the most amusing thing because you realize that she didn't even know that that was happening. And when she finally had that little bulb go on in her brain, she said like, "Hey, so maybe that's why this whole Shah exposed went away so quickly, and that's why they became friends." Like, no shit, bingo, bingo. There he goes. That's why Angie H and Jen Shah were body at the end, because they gave her money. But why? If Jen Shah was going after Angie H so hard, and it gets to show that for both sides of the coin, for Angie H and for Jen Shah, all that matters is the money, because Angie H had the money to kind of like make this whole troll account go away, which is very important for her to move forward in the franchise, because nobody was going to forget about that. So if that doesn't go away, she might not have the chance to come back. But with Jen on her side, now she had a reason to stay on this show. And now she has that horrible storyline pretty much erased because she had the money to pay Jen Shah and become friends. So nobody's gonna question that. And on the other hand, we had Jen Shah, scammer, who needed money either for legal fees or not, and she got it. Problem solved. Yes, Kristen. Yes, they definitely cemented their way into the show by fighting, uh, by giving her money so she could fight her case, whatever. It's true. I mean, I'm the kind of person that knows how, who analyze. I like to analyze the motive of people when they do something. I have like developed little trust on people for life experiences in general. So I tend to analyze. When I sense a motive, I step back and analyze it. If somebody is being nice to you because they're generally nice, that's great. But you always have to analyze if somebody has a motive. And in this case, both of them were winning something from this, alliance. NGH had the money. She wanted the story to go away. Jen Shah needed the money. She made that story go away. Solved. And she stayed on the show. Aaron has another question I'm going to share with everybody. NGH, did NGH think Jen could get her on full time on the show? LOL. I mean, I don't think NGH thought that Jen Shah was the key to that snowflake that she really wants, but she probably thought it was necessary for her to pick a side and cement her position on the show and finally have a shot. Because these women, oh my gosh, NGH, I'm exhausted with you, girl. You've been trying to be on this show since season 3, and every single time it's just like one flop story after the other one. We even forgot you were on season 1 to start with. On season 2, you were there for like 2 episodes and you were edited out. And on season 3, the most important part of your, time on the show was this absolutely embarrassing story about your husband, your elf on a shelf husband, creating a trolling account to troll Lisa Barlow. How embarrassing that a 50 something year old man had the time to troll women on a reality TV show so her wife can have a reason to be on it. It's more embarrassing that they even sat down with Meredith and they laughed about it. Like 2 high schoolers. How embarrassing. And then she wasn't even invited to the trip. She was just like a phone call type of friend. She was on the phone with Heather in every single episode after that. That was the only way that she was part of the show, through her phone. So I think we get the hint that she is not Housewives material. I don't care what people say. People say she's rich. People say she's messy, but messy? If she was messy, she would have been invited to that trip, because we all know damn well that if production wants a person in a trip, they will definitely make it happen. We had seen it happen in the past. When a housewife doesn't want to invite the other one, but pretty much production forced them to go on the same trip. Lisa Barlow. Lisa Barlow has a very smart console, because Lisa also revealed the Jen Shah asked her for money, and Lisa was about to give her that money, but I'm pretty sure she called her 7 lawyers, because Lisa has her lawyers in speed dial. And she's gonna call every single one of them to ask for questions, and they said no, don't give her money. You don't want to get scammed. You don't want to be associated with this person. Like if that's the advice that they're looking for, pay me as your lawyer, because I will give you the same advice. If this person is a legit criminal, a scammer, you do not want to give them your money. She was asking for my email. Jen Shah was saying, if you want to get the latest of Jen Shah and my truth, give me your email. Bitch, I'm not giving you not even my burner account email because I'm afraid you're going to find your way to mine and steal my identity. So no, I'm not going to do that. So the same thing I'm telling all these ladies, please, please let these women go into jail and move on with your lives. And I hope that we finally get a season that it doesn't feel freaking heavy, where everybody is walking on thin ice and like walking on eggshells because they don't want Jen Shah to explode. Because that's how I feel like this woman filmed this past like 2 seasons. All 3 seasons felt the same way. That the only reason why we talk about it now is because Jen Shah's legal case. But season one, people were, oh, at least I mean Jen Shah is great TV and what's not. How? I'm still trying to understand it. I prefer Mary Cosby over Jen Shah. Mary Cosby is great TV. She is a little problematic and she made ignorant comments several times. We're not gonna ignore that part of Mary Cosby. But as great TV, like giving us moments that I laughed my ass off, watching her do the most, talking to her mannequins in her closet, that is great TV to me. It's shady, it's petty, it's funny, it's fun. And she is unaware of how funny she is. Or at least she knows how to pretend to look like she's not aware of it. Because she seems so natural about it. But Jen Shah, all the comments that she made during the show, every single reaction that she had, were so like mean. We're mean spirit. Maybe I'm the one who did not like her from the beginning because she gave me that vibe of like, okay, there's something more behind these doors, behind these windows. She's hiding behind these smoke mirrors. When we finally got to that point where we found out she was a scammer, everything clicked for me. So we know the Salt Lake City is filming season 4 starting on February 13th. And there is a lot of rumors about the new cast. And we will talk about that on the news section, so stick around. Because we got to the end of the Salt Lake City reunion. They brought out a cake, and Lisa and Meredith had a great moment, which seems to me like the beginning of maybe they're gonna try to fix their friendship in the future. I mean, it felt kind of organic. But I'm happy that it's over. I want to share this because this is such a true statement. Kristen just shared that Mary is a landline. You don't know she's dangerous or there until she blows up on you. It's true. Very true. Like I said before, I mean, she's so unpredictable. And I'm gonna talk about Mary even more on the news section because that's also part of what I want to share with you guys regarding Salt Lake City season 4. But we know the season ended with Lisa Barlow and Meredith having a birthday cake. Lisa changed places, saying, "This is my good size, so I'm gonna come to this size. That's how you know that I love you," and whatever, blah blah. And they had the little moment. That was my happiest moment this season because it ended. I was like, we are done. We don't need this anymore. We're moving on. And just like that, we are moving on to Miami. Because Miami, unlike Salt Lake City, every single episode is freaking amazing. It's messy, it's crazy. Sometimes the fights are so petty. And that's where I want to start with. How petty, how petty was that fight between Nicole and Alexia? And then Todd got involved, and then Anthony got involved, and poor Russell is on the sideline looking like he's so annoyed to be there because he's like, oh my gosh, why am I here? These ladies are freaking nuts. And let me tell you one thing. I see online people are attacking Alexia that she's not the greatest this season, and I love Alexia. Everybody knows that I'm an Alexia boy. I'm trying to find a name for people who are fan of Alexia. I'm gonna call the bros, Alexia bros, Alexia bros. Yes, there you go. I am an Alexia bro, but as an Alexia bro, I can call out when my mother is acting stupid. And Alexia has been acting a little nutcracker for the past 3 episodes. And this time, this fight over the American Express, over Cuban food and mojitos, made absolutely no sense from both sides. Like watching Nicole trying to explain why she tossed that black American Express on the lawyer's lap. I was like, girl, please. It's it was rude. It was a fun moment as a viewer. I appreciate it because that's what you want from Housewives. You want them to kind of like like just toss in your face how rich they are and be like petty about it. But in the middle of this argument, it was hard to put one and one together because they both were talking over each other. And then you had Todd yelling at Anthony, who got involved. And once again, this time around, I was like, are you Todd or Toddy? Are you Anthony or Antoinette? Because this is not your place and your time. Let the women deal with their own issues. Like, I appreciated Todd trying to get involved for a second, but then it was the four of them just yelling at each other, and poor Russell, he was just trying to drink his freaking old fashioned in peace. Aaron sent another question, and I want to share with you guys because I like questions. What do you think of Gary's husband during the dinner? He was looked shocked. The other two husbands were in the fight. Yes, absolutely. He definitely understood the assignment because Gertie was trying to, explain to the women from an outsider perspective what she saw during this, launch at Alexia's apartment. And Russell did not say a word. He knew it wasn't his place. He's like, this is women's issues. I'm not gonna intervene. It's like, I'm gonna just let him be. I mean, I'm not getting paid enough here. Because let's remember that I'm pretty sure they probably get a cut from Peacock, but they're not getting housewife check. So he's like, I'm just here trying to drink my freaking old fashioned. Let's move on. It was so petty. I was. It was exhausting to watch, but in a good way. This is not exhausting like Heather Gay's Eye, or what's the other one that we're tired? Oh yeah, Robin and Juan Dixon. We are tired of those. Those are exhausting in a really annoying way. This petty bullshit with the American Express, I was fine with. It was just too much on that table with where four people were arguing with each other. And Kristen just shared that Todd had the detective skills of Alexia and failed to scroll down to see the other 30 plus lawyers in Anthony's practice because Todd said that allegedly Anthony's practice only has 3 lawyers working for him. And Anthony was like, "No, bitch, I have more than that. What are you talking about?" And then I think he definitely failed to scroll down on the LinkedIn or the advertisement because they were throwing each other shade. I mean, they were being shady. But Todd and Anthony should know their place, and it wasn't for them to argue about it. We have Marysol and Alexia and Nicole talking about this goddamn lawyer thing about the American Express, and then we had them adding their opinion on top of it. So it was just like listening to white noise in the background because I didn't know what they were saying. I'm honestly Team Russell. I will be that person who just sit on the sidelines and look at everybody, and I'm like, just get me out of here. That's how he looked like. He was not happy to be there. To be honest, he was definitely not happy. There was a conversation between Lisa and Larsa that broke my heart. The fact that gnome, an evil gnome named Lenny, is trying to kick her out with her kid to a rental because he won that mansion for himself to parade with his lip licking lizard of a girlfriend. My tongue was getting tangled right there, you guys. Lip licking lizard of a girlfriend. That is embarrassing. And I'm happy that Lisa is starting to wake up when she told in her confessional that he could take that attempt of to kick her out of the house within 30 days and show it up his ass. I was like, please, Lisa, keep that energy. That's what I want to see. I want to see her just forget about this guy. Yes, she said that she still loved him, and I understand that. They were married for many years. That was like pretty much the love of her life, and seeing her life falling apart because this guy is a douchebag, an asshole who left her for a younger woman that we know she's in for the money, and when she is tired of him, she's gonna kick him to the curb. And I hope the cameras are rolling at least for Lisa to let them know that the lip licking Lisa, her girlfriend, broke up with Lenny, just so we all can laugh at the same time. I mean, honestly, Lenny's vile. Lenny's disgusting. I think he's definitely top 3 of the worst house husbands on the Bravo universe. And honestly, I just wish the best for Lisa because she deserved better. That man is just horrible. The fact that A, he kicked out his own mother and father in the previous episode because they didn't agree with his behavior. And now, finally, we get to the point where he's actually looking for a judge to kick out his kids and his wife out of his house. Horrible. The worst. And luckily, luckily, Lisa has a group of friends who know how to put aside the petty bullshit and the drama to round up behind her and support her in this time. Because we had seen all the Housewife franchises where one of the ladies need the support of the whole entire cast and they just can't get it together. I want to share another funny moment of the show. Let's light it up a little bit. At the beginning, when we see Alexia and Marysol at the doctor's office, that cracked me up. I'm gonna give them kudos for being honest about injecting fat burner into their bodies because we know there's housewives out there trying to pretend that they got skinny by stop eating and working out every single day in less than a month. And we know that that's not true because that's not how fitness work. As somebody who's a very, very into fitness, everybody who knows me, I do Peloton every day. I do the Peloton bike, the tread, the row machine, the strength classes. I do yoga and all this stuff whenever I have the opportunity. And you do not burn that much calorie and you don't like lose size that quick just by doing that. So I'm going to give them props because we saw them taking shots, and by shots I don't mean tequila. I'm talking about fat burner shots at a doctor's office. While Marysol is trying to stick it up Alexia's butt, and it was the funniest thing to watch because they both have honestly one of the best friendship on many franchises. Like they are fun friends, you know. They can be shady together. They can even, say stuff about each other. We saw them on Watch What Happened Live when Alexia was kind of throwing a little shade, a fun shade at Marysol, and they were having a good time. Uh, yeah, and I'm talking. Yes, this is the one that I'm talking about. I don't want Kristen send in the one of the housewife, the one that I'm talking about. Chewed up Jeff Lewis for suggesting she was on Ozempic, or that medication that people use for diabetes. Which, by the way, you need to ask your doctor to do that because it's not going to give you long-term results. It might give you a very short period of time result because you are tricking your body into believing that it's full. But when that goes away, you best believe that your stomach gonna be like, hey bitch, you gotta feed me. You gotta give me some food, give me some bread. What's happening? And if you lose weight in that way, you are gonna gain double of what you lost. So before you start using any of these so-called magic diets like Ozempic, talk to your doctor. If you want long-lasting results, the best way to do that is by eating a balanced meal, a balanced diet. I hate calling it a diet because it sounds like forced into people. Like, no, if you balance what you eat and you move, you don't even have to have a heavy workout. You know, it's all about movement. If you move, if you are aware that you maybe need to walk for 15 minutes around the block in your house or get on a treadmill for 20 minutes, you don't have to run, but just get on it. Watch Bravo while doing it. Then you have long lasting results because you're not tricking your body into being skinny. You're you're teaching your body to be healthy. And those are two different things. Trust me. They end the episode with Kiki, Larsa, and Lisa at a club. And I like their friendship. I'm not a fan of Larsa. I feel like Larsa, it's I don't know. There's something about her that is so fake. That her intention with everything are calculated. That I don't know. She kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm still trying to figure out why. But I do appreciate that she has been a good friend to Lisa, and Kiki is absolutely hilarious. Hilarious. When she said that they went to the club to find Dick for Lisa. That's what friends are for. That's what friends are for. And we ended the episode with them um, we talking about their trip, and it seems that it's going to be really explosive. There's fights. There's the Bahamas is going to be taken by a Miami storm. So I cannot wait for that episode. In the meantime, let's talk about the looks. I want to talk about the looks of the reunion, you guys, because these looks are golden, are money, are sexy, are expensive. The ladies of Miami, they definitely are. I'm telling you, they're not missing the mark. The season was amazing, and now the reunion style is impeccable. The reunion has a very kind of like a bank, kind of like a very like old school bank vibe, where people put gold, a vault type of thing. And we see a lot of like, chains and glitter and skin tight and sparkle. It's a lot of gold, glitter, vibes. I truly appreciate every single one of the looks. We have Alexia. She is wearing uh, Millie. I'm just getting the information directly from uh, the website. So I just want to make sure that I give proper credit to everybody so you guys know. Her dress has a beautiful bodice. It looks like gold leaves and gold flowers embellishment all over the dress. The shoes are the Oclipo. Beautiful. I love this look. She has like a little fur shawl around her shoulders. I'm loving it. She looks beautiful. She looks, I mean, Adriana is just a beautiful woman. Alexia is wearing Usama Ishte. It's a two-tone dress. The bodice or the top is white. The bottom part is black. It looks like velvet, and is attached with like a silver waistline that goes into a choke around her neck. I'm not a fan of that part, you guys. I'm not a big fan of that look. I wish the dress didn't have that neck choker look kind of thing with that line in between her boobs. It's just a little too much. If we remove just that part, the one that goes between her boobs and her neck, that would be a great look. Gertie is wearing a chain material upcycled by Celestino Couture. And I love this look. Celestino Couture, he is from Project Runway. So she's wearing a Mexican designer from Project Runway. Remember that guy who was all about like politics and stuff, and then they told him to stop making everything like a statement and just make fashion? Well, that's the guy who made it to the finale. I remember that clearly because I really liked his collection, Celestino Couture. Um, yeah, I remember that they told him that he looked a little too outdated, but his inspiration was, you know, like Western. It was really cool. But I love the design. It's kind of giving me 1920s for some reason, like sexy 1920s flapper dress. That's what when I was looking, I was like, that's what the vibe that I'm getting. I agree. Kristen said that she would love it even more if it was more jeweled. Yes, I agree. It needs a little something. I know that the dress is a lot of chains, but there's nothing else. So I kind of need something more. Maybe like a bigger earring statement. Something is missing. But the dress and she looks beautiful. That hair, stunning. Julia is wearing Naam Khan. The shoes are Christian Louboutin. And she is giving me Genie. Genie in a bottle ready to come out. And wish you and just wish your wishes. She's giving me like Genie. I love it. I love Julia. She is actually being super sexy for her. I never seen her this revealing in the 2 seasons she's been. And I'm liking. I'm liking this look. It's not my favorite though. It's not my favorite look so far, but I appreciate the sexiness behind it. Kiki. Oh, you guys, Kiki is a dream in red velvet couture. She looks beautiful. Oh my gosh, that woman can dress. She is a true model, and she can wear a garbage bag, and she will look amazing. The dress is like a red wine tone, like a velvety red wine. The dress is bronze and Banco. Uh, Once again, even her dress is giving me like 1920s vibe, maybe with the hair. That's what I'm getting. Love it. Money, rich, I'm here for it. Larsa, Larsa dress. Am I blind, or does her dress look like something that she already wore? I'm not saying it's the same one, but I've been trying to figure that out. Um, was it the same kind of vibe in the reunion, the last reunion? I'm trying to remember. It kind of give maybe it's not the same dress because obviously it's not the same dress. We saw the dress last season. It was kind of like a pink tulle with like see-through embellishment, in a in a nude bodysuit underneath kind of thing. But for some reason, it seems the same. Maybe it's because it's wrapped in the same area on the hip. Maybe because once again it's see-through and had the new illusion once again. I don't know. I think Larsa has done this look before. I'm not impressed. I like it though. Lisa Hoshton was wearing this black dress with a bottom of the skirt that is see-through with flower embellishments all over, and I'm truly liking this because she looks beautiful. She's giving sexy. She's giving I'm ready to take over the world. She's dressing Michael Costello. Shoes by Philippe Plain. Jewelry by Eric Mavani. And yes, this black dress looks great on her. Once again, the jewelry is great too. Not my favorite look overall on this set of ladies, but I think she looks great. Marysol, I love Marysol's look. I love this look because it's different from the other ladies. The other ladies went for like the sexy, the the showing body, showing boobs, showing legs. She went the opposite. She went kind of like Beverly Hills, kind of like a matriarch look, you know, but make it rich, make it expensive, make it fashion. Not like old lady. Let's make that clear. I'm not calling Marysol an old lady because she is not. She is beautiful. This white dress with like diamond embellishment around the waist, on the neckline, on the sleeves. I appreciate it. I like it a lot. I think she looks great. The dress is by Wade Allen. The shoes are by Renee Cavovilla. And the styling is by Marysol. Marysol styled that herself. So good job, Marysol. Amazing. I mean, if the whole selling cocktail doesn't pan out for you, you can definitely get into styling. Nicole is wearing a Balmain dress, and she looks good. Once again, she is going the opposite of the other lady. She went for like the short type of dress, a lot of embellishment, very Balmain. She looks great. She is also a very short girl. So she needs to wear stuff that make her look taller. And that's why a short dress that cuts in the right place worked for her because it make her look taller. It gives the illusion of long legs. So good job by picking this up. This, like I said before, the dress is a Balmain. The shoes are Aquazura, and that, you guys, are all the ladies of Miami. I really like these looks, you guys. I like when the ladies either coordinate with the color or coordinate with the theme. And as you can, if you watch if you go into the website, or you can go on my Twitter or my Instagram, I posted the photos. If you look the background, it's all gold, it's all like a bank, it's money. So it's giving me old school vibes. It's giving me like old school Hollywood vibes. It's giving me like 1920s speakeasy vibes. So if you put the ladies together, even though they're not wearing the same color per se, they all complement each other. They all look like they are actually going to the same party. Unlike Beverly Hills, that every season they go to a different cocktail party. Like we saw the dresses for Potomac before, and I spoke about it on our previous episode on the podcast, and they knew how to coordinate the different tones of blue, different shades of blue, and they all look beautiful in it. Obviously, not all of them hit the mark, but it's not bad. It's not Beverly Hills bad. It's not Salt Lake City bad, because that is a disaster. quick news. We have Vanderpump Rules. The premiere is this Wednesday at 9 p.m. on Bravo, and it will stream the next day on Peacock. And we saw the first 7 minutes and also the intro. The intro is a brand new intro. It's the same song, which I love. It's my favorite intro song in any Bravo show. Also, their intro has been by far the best intro on Bravo. But this time they revamped it. Now it's like a multi-universe of restaurants. Finally, they open up the SOAR universe. It's not just SOAR. It's Sandys and Swords. I mean, Swords and Sandys. It's Tom Toms. It's Pump. It's Soar. So you see the camera go through every single restaurant, and in each and one of them, you see a different cast member. Like in the first one, it's Swords and Sandys, and you see Tom and Tom cheering in the intro of the intro, and then the drone goes like above Pump and gets into Tom Toms, and in Tom Toms you see Tom Toms, you see Ariana. I'm trying to remember because I don't wanna mess it up. I think in Tom Toms you see Ariana. Yes, you see Ariana, you see Katie, and you see Lala. And then it goes into Soar. And in Soar um you see Raquel, James, and Sheena, and then at the end it goes into the back of Soar, and you see Lisa and her dog having a glass of champagne, and he goes out of the restaurant, and then an aerial view of Los Angeles, and it says Vanderpump Rules. The intro is fire. Fire, fire, fire. And if you haven't watched the intro yet, go to my Instagram or my Twitter at Martinez with Eddie. I posted there. I love it. Vanderpump Rules is my favorite non-housewife show on Bravo, and I'm so excited that it's back. On the first 7 minutes, we get three main stories from the get-go. We see Katie and Tom Swartz dealing with their divorce and separation. Then we see Tom and Tom dealing with the opening of Swords and Sandys. And also we see Raquel and James dealing with, life being separate now. Because as we know, the last season ended at the reunion when they dropped the bomb that they were not together anymore, and they call off the engagement. But now James is dating another girl, and Raquel is dating everybody. She started with Peter. And I'm like, I don't think you guys are a good match. That first conversation is really awkward. I'm sad for Katie and Tom, going through a divorce. But if you have been watching this show, you saw this coming. Honestly, you saw this one coming. They were not a good couple. They are two great people, but they are great people not for each other. So I hope that at one point they become friends again, and they can move forward with their lives, because they are great, but not for each other. And I'm excited to finally be able to see how Swords and Sandy's finally open, because oh my gosh, that's been going on for years. So yeah, I mean, at this point it's open. People go there. I've seen their website, I've seen their Twitter, I've seen their Instagram, and obviously I'm planning to go because I need to go. But yeah, that's what we see on the first 7 minutes. We uh, established that those are one of the storylines during this season. Obviously, we have more. We have more storylines beside those three. We have some issue between Tom and Ariana, uh, Sheena's marriage, and everything in between. We even have a cameo by my Queen Garcelle. We saw that on the trailer, and I'm excited to have Garcelle be part of the Vanderpump Rules universe. I love that. Um, that's when it comes to Vanderpump Rules. Don't forget to tune in on Wednesday at 9 p.m. on Bravo, because on Thursday, you know that I will be doing the recap, and I want you guys to leave me the questions and be part of the conversation. Another tea that I have for you guys. This one is tea. I want to finish the episode with the tea that I have for from Salt Lake City about their casting. This morning, I found out about this woman called Denise, and I named her Debbie Downer. Oh no, no, not Denise. Her name is Debbie, and I coined her as Debbie Downer because, I mean, we don't need more races in our TV shows. Her name is Debbie Kate Thomas. Many platforms out there has leaked or allegedly, breaking news, allegedly, we know all those accounts, saying that Debbie Kate Thomas was a newbie for Salt Lake City. And obviously, being the nosy bitch that I am, I decided to dig into this woman and trying to find some sources to tell me more about her. So, what I found out is not nice. She has some very questionable posts on her Instagram. She talks really badly about Black Lives Matter. She likes to compare the struggle of Black people to or think that people should focus more on the Epstein, the island with the kids and all this stuff, by always comparing it to Black Lives Matter, and it was very problematic. I did not like it. I didn't like it. And let me tell you one thing. Let's open up and be honest and frank about this, life experience. We all, everybody, well, I'm not gonna say everybody because I'm not gonna talk for everybody, but I'm saying a big majority of people, especially those who were born in the 80s and grew up in the 90s, we experience life differently. We grew up in a society that was not as aware of social justice or struggle of the minorities, or we were so okay with casual racism on advertisement, or like I remember I used to go to Abercrombie and buy T-shirts that today are extremely problematic. We all did that because we were accustomed to believe that it was just funny and we weren't trying to hurt anybody, right? And I do believe that everybody who is trying to do better is learning how to listen, is learning how to open their eyes and ears to know that any form of racism or homophobia or trying to be funny with this, or saying that we need to ignore racism because that's the problem in America. We need to stop talking about racism. No, we need to have this conversation if we really want to move forward and if we really want America to be the place that we all wanted it to be. A place where we all are treated equally and where justice is for everybody, not for a few. So, anyways, that was my point. I'm not saying that we are all perfect. I'm not saying that we know everything, but we need to be open to learn, especially nowadays with so much technology and with a youth that's understanding and is more aware of this than even people like me that is in their 30s. Because I'm very happy that people like my niece and my nephew who are 10, 11, 12, they understand this better than I do. They they and they don't support racism, and they don't support homophobia, and they see it as a foreign language. When at 13 I was laughing at some dumb joke on TV made on the expenses of a stereotype, on like a racial stereotype, you know. So I appreciate that. So we need to be aware and learn and open our eyes and be mindful that words can hurt. And now I'm going to the point that I was trying to make. This woman, Debbie Downer, Debbie Kate Thomas, she posted a lot of problematic stuff recently. Not 20 years ago, not 10 years ago. This is like a few months ago. So I blast her on my Twitter, saying that I don't need her on this show. Not that I'm expecting my voice to be enough for Bravo to even care, but this is the but. I got a message on my Instagram from an account that it seems, I'm gonna say anonymous, but it seems to be related to Salt Lake City production and casting. And they said, you can tell the world that this woman is not part of the cast. That people are feeding fake news to people online because maybe this lady had a housewife following them, or maybe a housewife was liking her post, but they said no, she is not being considered for the show. You can tell that to the world. And I posted their message on my on my Twitter. Obviously, I did not reveal the name of my source because I don't think that's right. But this person seems to be directly connected to casting process for Salt Lake City. So that is one of the T's. Debbie Downer, Debbie Kate Thomas, based on what I received on Instagram, is not part of the casting of Salt Lake City 4. But I got another T. This one comes from another source from Salt Lake City. This person reached out to me after I posted the whole Debbie Downer situation on my Twitter. And the person said to me, I do have some information from a newbie, a possible newbie. This person goes to the same nail salon that I go to. This person got her boob job done for the show, which is fine. I'm here. I said it before in my other episodes. I'm here for whatever make you happy. If you want to change your look, I changed my nose. Not for aesthetic, just because I couldn't breathe. I had a deviated septum fix, but what I'm saying is, like, I'm here for any surgery. Like, if you want to fix your boobs, your nose, your face, good for you. If it make you feel better. But this information comes from somebody who goes to the same, plastic surgeon, to the same nail salon, hair salon, and the tea is that the woman and the husband got a nanny, quote unquote, a nanny for the kids. But the nanny lived with them in the same house. And then they, kept this nanny in the house for themselves. Yes. They told their own kids that the nanny was for them. So basically, they are in a throuple with the nanny. And the tea doesn't end there. The nanny in question is not for both of them, it's actually for the housewife. And the housewife said that she would leave her husband and keep the nanny if anything falls apart. Allegedly, they were Mormon, and obviously, with this whole mess happening with the nanny, they stepped away from the Mormon church. So it's going to be based on what this source, I keep saying source, based on this source, the nanny is actually taking care of the adults. So, based on the source, the storyline of this woman is how she walked away from the Mormon church to have a polyamorous relationship. Also, said housewife, the newbie, she lives in South Jordan, which is the same area as Whitney Rose. I'm saying that they are related or they are going to be introduced as friends. We don't know. I didn't get that tea at that point to that extent. I mean, um, but there you have it, you guys. This source said that a newbie for Salt Lake City is going to be a polyamorous housewife in a relationship with the nanny. Obviously, the husband is included, but it seems more like the relationship between is the nanny and the housewife. And they got that nanny for the kids, but then they say, "Okay, kids, no, this is our nanny now." Are you interested on this? Do you think it's messy enough? Do you think it's going to bring a new life to Salt Lake City? Let me know in the comment section because this tea from Salt Lake City is hot. Hot, hot, hot. And honestly, if they bring them on the show, I'm here for it because I'm here for any type of relationship. Polyamorous, triples, swingers, whatever make you happy, do it. But I want to see the mess. I want to see it because it's interesting. Whatever worked for you, great. So there you go. There you have you guys. Bringing you tea that I got on my inbox. I feel like Gossip Girl. I should end the show like that. XOXO Eddie Martini glass. Where's my martini? Hold on. XOXO Gossip Eddie or something like that. Martini's Eddie. Yeah, I'm just being stupid. But yeah, I'm flying tomorrow to Charleston, you guys, to meet the entire cast of Southern Hospitality. I'll be out there this whole entire weekend. We are doing many things. I'm partying at Republic tomorrow night. I'm going to Bourbon and Bubbles on Saturday. I'm going to Mesu, which is the other sushi Mexican mix restaurant that Leva owns. I'm excited. I will be definitely bring you all the tea next week. I'm going to make sure to get maybe tea from maybe a season 2, maybe from Southern Charm. Stay tuned. And you know where to find me. I'm on Martinez with Eddie on every media platform. You can find me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, podcast, YouTube. Please, 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 like I always say, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for the video version of the podcast, and on every podcast platform that you prefer to listen to your podcast. Please subscribe to my podcast and leave a review, because it's very important for us podcasters to hear how you feel about our podcast. And if you have any recommendation, or if you want me to touch on any news that happened this week, my DMs are open, or you can always leave a comment. Once again, on Twitter, Instagram, my YouTube channel as Martini with Eddie. Please subscribe to my podcast, Martini with Eddie, on your favorite podcast platform. And I also have my own very own website, martinezwitheddie.com. That is MARTEANIS with Eddie.com. Martini with Eddie. Guys, I'm trying to create a merch, some fun merch, like a t-shirt, like a mug, like a bag. So if you also have any suggestion, my inbox is open for it, because I want to create something that you guys will definitely enjoy having. And with that said, you know what is coming. Thank you guys for listening. Goodbye, besties. Bye.